vibe. Come let we lime. Come let we vibe. Lime vibe. Oh, lime vibe.
So good afternoon and welcome to another Live Vibe Conversation. I'm your host, Yori Kemp, here with another Live Vibe Conversation with our beautiful and lovely guest, Miss Shellyann Patrick, an author from Trinidad and Tobago. How are you today, Shellyann?
I'm great. I'm great
Great.
today.
Should I call
Beautiful.
you Shellyann or Shelly?
You can call me Shelly, whatever
Shelly?
works for you. Yes.
Okay, Shelly. So how's things over there in Trinidad today?
It's actually very hot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful day on the.
Yes, that's good. That's good. It's hot everywhere. This climate change is really getting the best of us, isn't it?
Yes, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. So you grew up in Trinidad?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I grew up actually in South Trinidad. It's considered very deep South. It's proper country, but it's very well. It's actually, living in the country, it's basically filled with a life of community, and everyone knows each other, and we live pretty well together. And living in the country as well, your value system tend to be very, very strong in the sense of morality and faith and all of that. At least in the village that I grew up, it was very foundational.
Okay. So you grew up in like a farm kind of setting then?
Not really a farm, but it's a real country.
Real country. Okay. Much different from Port of Spain, the city slickers.
Yes, Port of Spain is really city.
Okay. So you still in the South Trinidad now, or you moved to Port of Spain?
I am indeed.
Okay. So what do you do in Trinidad anyway? What do you do for a living?
I actually used to be in marketing. Right now I'm not. I involved in some small entrepreneurial initiatives. But other than that, it's just my book and the little initiatives that I take on at the moment. But in my career, I would have spent about 10 years in advertising sales in the industry. I ended working with a sports channel, which was the #1 sports channel in the Caribbean. But the essence of my career was marketing and sales, advertising.
Okay. And faith plays a big part in your life, doesn't it?
Pardon?
Faith plays a big part in your life, doesn't it? The presence of God plays a big part in your life, doesn't it?
Of course. I think that that my faith, to be honest, I haven't, like, the foundation of, in my early years, I had a really strong foundation. But I would say, the years that I got to make my own decisions, I didn't always make the right decisions. So I kind of pulled away from a life of faith and a life where my entire life was surrendered to God. And I made a lot of wrong turns that had some really, really strong consequences.
Wow.
And at a specific season in my life, I think that I went back in search of answers, and there's where I got back to that place of faith. And I could see now that my faith is basically the central, the everything in my life. Like, I can't function without my faith. Sometimes we think that faith is an addition or a complement to our very lives. Like, if it's just something that we add on to our lives to, help us through bad times. But I believe that faith is the foundation to the essence of our lives. Yes. And everything else it flows out of that place of our relationship with God. Because faith it's such a word that we use loosely, but I think that it's our relationship with God. It's a communication with the Creator and our Maker and the person that gave us life. And it's a relationship with Him that every other decision in our life comes out of that communion with Him.
Yes. I agree. What spurred you on to start writing? Or when did you start writing, first of all?
My first book I actually launched in 2020. So how it happened was, I always loved writing. even as a child, even in school. The one good report I'd get for Parents' Day is my English teacher. She'd be like, Shellyann is a great writer. And I always liked writing. I think that whenever I was in a place where I had to deal with emotions, the one place that I could truly articulate it properly would be in writing. So I would journal, and I didn't really think that I'd be an author or ever write a book, but I loved writing. It actually was my place of expression. And every time I wanted to express something to someone, it would be through my words. So it would have been 2018. Yeah, I believe it was 2018. I went to a conference in Dallas, and it was Bishop T.D. Jakes. He had a conference called Woman Thou Art Loose.
Yes. You went to that?
Yes, I went to that.
You are so blessed. You are so blessed.
It was a dream come true, honestly. Because I said, if I have to go to a conference, I really want to go to this conference. Because the conference was focused on women and hurting women. And I just felt like I would find answers to various situations that I was searching for an answer for. And I remember being in the lobby of that church, and this woman came up to me and she held my hand and she said, "Who are you? There's a book in." And something leaped inside of me in that moment, because you hear stories about people saying things like that, but you never think that it would happen to you, right? So off to me and she said, "There's a book in you." And I remember going back on the flight back home that day. The next day, I started writing on a piece of paper, and what I wrote was just things that came to my head, and it ended up being chapters for my book. But no, in fact, part of me thought that, you know what, if this is real, I'm going to put action behind it, and if something comes to life, then I'll believe that yes, it's true. So I started to write, and from time to time I'd go on my computer and just write, and it was just words. It wasn't anything that had structure, organization or anything. It was just my words on paper. And I would write and then stop, and write and then stop. But during COVID, during the pandemic, we had a time. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to finish my book. And there were a lot of courses online, and somebody was giving a course on writing a book. And I went through that course, and then I started writing. I would just write. The words would flow, and I would just write. And I believe that it was that time that I finished the book. I launched the book in December 2020.
Yes.
And when the book started to come to life, then I believed, you know what, I'm going to publish this. I'm going to put my faith in action, and I'm going to bring this book to life. And it was really a success. And when I say success, I don't use that word lightly. It's not a success in the sense that, you know, it was a success in the sense that after I finished writing, I felt that there was areas in my life that was healed. Like God, my writing to get stuff out, to bring healing to my soul. And I thought that was a huge success. I was like, before I could bless someone, I need to be blessed by it. You know what I mean? It needs to speak before it could speak to someone. Otherwise it would lack authenticity, or it'll just be words. You know what I mean?
Yes, indeed. So what's the name of the book? What's the name of your book? Tell us the name of your books, and how many big books have you written thus far?
So the first one, it's The Thief That Stole My Time.
Yes.
And the second one is called Fight Back.
Fight Back. So what's in The Thief That Stole My Time? I'm sensing a lot of pain went into that first book. So tell me what all's in that, and what was the pain that led you to write The Thief That Stole My Time? That's like a lover's thing, actually. Yeah. Was it?
In 2020, no, it wasn't about a person. It was about my decisions. And decisions that was influenced by the enemy of my soul, that caused me to make wrong turns. Because about choices, right? The
Oh,
Bible said, I set before you life and death, you choose.
yes,
And
yes, yes.
at various stages in my life, I made wrong choices. And when the thief that stole my time, it's basically about some of the wrong things that I made.
Mhm,
And that cost me my time. When I launched the book 2020,
mhm.
I turned 40 that year.
Wow.
And then when I pictured my future
Mhm,
at the age of 20,
mhm,
I had expectations of it turning out a certain way at age 40. And
mhm,
it didn't.
mhm.
And I believe that it was the year that I confronted everything in my life that would have impacted where I was in that season. You
Mhm,
know what I mean? Because
mhm,
sometimes you would blame things, you blame people, you blame circumstances, but it was all about me confronting the turns that I make and how my turning away from God's way
mhm.
led me to make wrong decisions that costed me so much of my time.
So let's dig deep into a bit of some of these wrong decisions that you made. So I can look at you now. You don't seem to be like you were a drug addict or anything like that. Or so I mean, what's some of the things that you talk about in the book? What were some of the bad decisions that you made that you
Okay,
felt so compelled by?
one of the decisions that I can talk about that has really impacted me significantly was an abortion at a very
Oh
early.
wow. Mm,
So I think that as I grew older,
mm,
I felt the pain of it more than I did in the early years of my life,
mm,
because I started to believe that had I made a right decision then,
mm,
that my life and the one thing that I desire at this stage in my life,
mm,
I threw away at a young
mm.
age.
Wow, wow.
So that's actually one of the the decisions, one of the wrong decisions
Mm,
that led me to a place of regret
mm.
and even a place of bitterness at times.
Wow, wow. So I guess you have no other kids then.
No, I don't.
Wow. So that really plays a lot on your mind, doesn't it?
It does. It
Mm,
does. It
mm,
does. But I think that now at this stage in my life, I have learned to use that pain
mhm,
to make somebody else's life better, you know?
mm, mm. I hear you. I hear you. That's really intimate for you to share that with us on Live Vibe, man. I really thank you for sharing that, man. So let's talk about your struggle with this abortion that you had. Would you recommend to any other young girl? Because right now in the Bahamas, they were discussing whether or not they should legalize abortion here in the Bahamas. So what kind of advice would you give to another young single lady that's going through the same thing that you went through? How should they weigh their options up?
I know people are saying that we have a choice, that women have choices. It's their body and they have a choice.
Mhm.
But I base my life on scripture.
Yes.
The word of God says that before I formed you in the belly, I knew you.
Yes.
Meaning that before that child was in the womb,
Hmm.
he was ordained to come, he or she was
Hmm.
ordained to come to earth.
Hmm.
And there's purpose in him. And we say that, it was under wrong circumstances, but that's life.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it is not our decision to take life.
Yes.
We can't make decisions to take our own lives. And if God gifted us with a child, even when our circumstances look horrible, you
Mhm.
do not know who's coming out of you. You
Yes.
do not know who you're breathing. You do not know what if Mary, under her circumstances,
Mm.
had decided not to give birth to baby Jesus?
Yes.
What would have been planet Earth today?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes. I agree. I agree, Shellyann. I agree. What a different world we could have, wouldn't it, right?
Yeah,
Mm. So are you able to still have kids now or no?
actually, I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Have you tried
I'm not.
again?
I'm not. I'm not in a relationship.
Mm.
Neither am I married.
Okay. Okay. That's significant to you. I'm glad you're still waiting to get married though.
Yes, I
That's
am.
the way it's supposed to be. Yeah. But you're a beautiful woman though. I mean, of course you find someone in Trinidad to marry you, wouldn't you, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was kind of stunned. I've seen your pictures before, but this is the first time I'm actually seeing you in person. You're a very beautiful and vibrant young woman, man. I really appreciate you coming on the show. I'm
Oh,
not flirting by any stretch of the matter. I really mean that sincerely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wow, that's a real intimate turn right there you took with me, man. So
Yes.
in terms of that, so how does your family look at your writing now? What do they think about what you put on the part of your life that you've given to the rest of the world now? What do they feel about it?
I think that they would have come to terms with it by now, but honestly, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I wrote that part of the book, it's under a segment that I call regret.
Mm-hmm.
And it's regret, guilt, and shame. That's the subhead for the portion.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I was just writing. I didn't even know what was coming out of me.
Yeah.
And like I mentioned to you before, God was using this book to bring healing to me.
Mm-hmm.
And as I wrote, I was beginning to be set free.
Mm-hmm.
However, I had no intention of actually publishing that portion. I was just writing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that when time came for publication, I will take out what I want to take out and keep what I want to keep.
Mm-hmm.
However, when it was time for publication, the Holy Ghost ignited in my heart that I should leave it.
Mm.
And it was the most nerve-wracking thing I ever had to do.
Oh, wow.
I remember after my book launch, although the launch itself was such a huge success, I came home that night and I laid on my bed and I could not sleep because I was thinking people are reading my book and they all know my business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was very, very nerve-wracking for me. However, months passed and nothing happened. But about a year later, this particular young girl reached out to me and she said she read my book. I never had conversation with her before, but she bought my book, reached out to me, and she started talking to me. Still, she talked to me about how my book blessed her life and all of this and whatever. And 1 year later, she told the part that blessed her the most was this part, because this is what she was going through and she didn't have the courage to talk about it.
Wow.
And that changed everything. I was like, because I told God, even as I was about to publish it, I was like, Lord, if I just bless one person,
yes,
I would have accomplished everything.
Yes.
How many more people are blessed by that?
Yes.
I know even a topic of conversation where it could be like, everyone's looking at you differently now, but that didn't matter. What mattered was that whatever the enemy used to cause my life pain, I would have used it as a wrecking ball I would have somebody else, and that would have been my wrecking ball to take all of the pain and shame down.
Yes, indeed. That's a positive way to look at it, Shelly. I like the way you put it, man. You're looking at life in a real positive light, man, and a real hopeful and positive. So let me ask you a question about that young girl. Was she pregnant at the same time? Did she end up going on having her child or no?
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't. Wow. So
she would have been going through the place of regret and the place of shame and have no one to share it with.
Oh, so that's where it was. So you called her after she already had the abortion and then she decided to deal with it that way. Okay, that's good. To help heal some of her emotions. That's wild. So yeah, you are having a positive impact. See, and that's what the arts is all about. And that's what the arts, like writing and being an author like yourself and music, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to spur people into thinking more critically about themselves and some of the things that they've done. And also they could, live vicariously through you and they could see it through your eyes and see that they're not the only person out here that's struggling, that's suffering with the decisions that they've made. That's good, man.
So I meant that book particularly was meant to speak to two segments of people. So I want to speak to the young people, tell them what not to do. Then I wanted to speak to the people that was in my season of life, to say to them, there's hope. You know what? Your life isn't doomed. Everything is over. There's still hope for you. Because the Bible talks about, like I said, the book was the thief that stole my time. but the Bible talks about he's going to redeem the years that the locust and the cankerworm has stolen.
Yes, indeed. Amen. Preach it, sister.
Yeah, it's life.
Yeah.
And men fail, but his word never does.
Yes, indeed, indeed, indeed. Shelly, you're so strong, you're so brave, man. Thank you for sharing that piece of your life with us, man. I really appreciate it, man. So where are your books selling, though? Where are your books now selling?
So it's on Amazon, first of all. It's on Amazon and Kindle and paperback. And it's in all the major books. Well, The Thief That Stole My Time particularly is in all the major bookstores in Trinidad. And Fight Back, I only launched that earlier this year.
Yes.
And in one of the major bookstores, which is RIK bookstores.
Okay.
But I launched it in May, and I started doing a bit of book signing. And then during the summer, the bookstores kind of slow down on stuff because of back to school and stuff. So I'm going to start back soon in September to try to get all the local bookstores. So
tell us about Fight Back now. What's in Fight Back?
So Fight Back, it's about standing up to the punches of the enemy. So I started it off with the story of a boxing match, and how the enemy keeps throwing us punches, and every time we try to get up back, is like something new comes up and knocks us down again. And that's life. That's basically our life, right? But the Bible gave us weapons in which we fight back. So we do not have to basically just take punches again and again from the enemy, but we have weapons at our disposal that we aren't even aware of, that and ammunition where we could fight back the enemy. And some of those weapons are we fight back with prayer, we fight back with faith, we fight back with worship, we fight back with his word, we fight back with our testimony. I believe that in my first book was a weapon that I to hit back the enemy, where instead of someone else being destroyed by the very same thing, they could understand that they don't have to make that turn. I love young people now, because I think it have a certain stage in your life that you feel you know everything and the world is and I have been that girl. So when people tell me that their daughters are this or their son is this, I understand the place. I understand their thought process. And I just feel like I could just pull them out from that place and use my life to lead them, to help them know that, there's a better way. Yes,
Shelly. Wow, you're so positive, man. So you said it right now. You have to fight on your knees with prayer and with thanksgiving. Yeah, that's how you fight back the enemy,
And praise, of course.
Praise, yeah. My praise is a weapon. I was listening to that song on the car coming back from church this morning. Yeah, my praise is a weapon.
No, it's true. And I never thought of it at first, but when you get on your knees while the enemy is punching you, you're praising God. That's like he can't. It's like it annihilates all his ability to fight you. He's like confused. Like, why would you praise God in the middle of all of this? And it's like there's a part of my book that really it's personal to me in Fight Back with Faith, where I talk about stubborn faith. Like, we need to have stubborn faith. Sometimes when we make wrong decisions, we stubborn about it. If we can use that very stubborn and have faith, like when everything against us, like, oh, we still believe, like Job said, naked I came and naked I will leave. The Lord give, the Lord take, and I will still bless his name.
Yes,
and I think that would confuse the enemy.
Oh, Shelly, you really quote scriptures here today, man. I didn't expect this to be a revival here today, but yeah, you quote the scriptures, man. You're strong in the faith, and like how you said earlier, this is a real important part of your life's journey. This faith system that you have,
everything of my journey. I used to think that it was just part of it, but I think that it's the place that I want to flow from, because life is spiritual. Everything in life is spiritual, and we don't even know it.
Yeah, indeed. Everything's in the spirit realm.
Exactly, yes.
Yes, 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 indeed, indeed. So, Miss Shellyann, so what are the key takeaways you want people to take from your book, though? From your books, though? What are some of the key points you want people to understand from your writing and your approach to writing?
I don't understand what you're asking.
Like, what are some of the key things that when someone reads your books, what are some of the key things they should take away from your writing, from your authorship?
I want them, the one thing that I want people to have is hope. Because there was so many times that I felt that where I am, I'm just hopeless. I felt like the enemy had me in a corner for so long. And I want my books to pull people out of a corner.
Yeah.
I want to have a spirit of a warrior inside of them. Like Fight Back made me understand the power that we have as children of God. He gave us authority. And I think that my people perish for lack of knowledge. We do not know authority, so we allow him to beat us down in various situations, because it doesn't always, because he didn't come to take anything from us. Sometimes it'll look like he took our careers, or he took our finances, or he took our he's after our marriage, but he's not after any of that. He's after our feet.
Yes.
I think that once we have an understanding of all of this, you know, we could function from a place of authority, and we could conquer him no matter what he throws at us.
Yes, yes, indeed, indeed. That's faith and praise. That's right. So that's one of the key takeaways for people to have faith and have the understanding and to have praise and have worship, and to understand that there's a fight bigger out there other than what they're going through. There's someone out there that's fighting for them. I really get that Shelley. So any other books in the upcoming future for you?
I have started writing, but I don't know when it's going to finish. But it's become part of me, so I am writing.
Oh, you need another you need another pandemic to spur you on, or no?
I just, I just want to study enough, to make sure that what I want to say has everything that people need.
Yes, yes. And that abortion story and the thief that stole my time, that's a real important one, because I can imagine a lot of other young ladies are going through the same thing even before they had the abortion. They're going through the same thing that you went through, and they're looking to see how it's going to play out in the long term for them. I think your book would be very illuminating to them,
Yes.
That's something real positive. So any other thing about the thief that stole my time that you want to share with us? You said there was other regrets. I took that as plural. Any other thing that you went through?
I think there's so much. You'll have to get the book.
Okay. Yeah. Don't say too much. So you say you can find it on Amazon. You can find it on almost any bookstore in Trinidad and Tobago. Good.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Shelley. Any final thoughts?
I just want to leave people with the thought that there is hope. You know what I mean?
Yes.
There's hope, and in Jesus, he died to give us hope. And sometimes the enemy wants us to believe that all our years of regret and shame, that it's over for us. And it's not over until he says it's over. Because he can take one thing that the Lord said to me in a season of my life that will never leave me. And I want to leave it with everyone. The place of your greatest pain will be the place of your greatest power. And I want everyone that's in some season or going through any kind of pain right now to know that the place of your greatest pain will come back to be the place of your greatest power if you put it in the hands of the Lord.
Yes, indeed.
If you try to one, it mightn't work out. If you put it in the hands of the Lord, he can do amazing things with it.
Yes. It's all in his will, right?
Yes. And to know him. He said, the people who know their God will do great exploits. And I think that the one thing we need to do is know him. Not know church or know all the things that we do or all the things that we do for him, but know him. Seek him. Seek that place of intimacy with him. And as we know him, we will do great things from that place of understanding who our God is.
Yes, indeed, indeed. Shellyann Patrick, an author from Trinidad and Tobago, out there with 2 books, The Thief That Stole My Time and Fight Back. Thank you so much, Shellyann, for joining us here on the Live Vibe Conversation. I really appreciate your conversation today, Shellyann.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shellyann. Okay, goodbye.
Bye.